Sparky the dog, Golden Toy Freddy, Purple Guy animatronic? Any of these names ring a bell? If you've been a fan of the series since the original games, you've probably found yourself believing in one of these fakes. I'm man enough to admit that I fell for these as well. I mean, look at them. Back then, AI was not a universally distributed tool. Artists would design these themselves. Looking back, some of them are pretty obviously fake, but a handful of them were done exceptionally well. Take Sparky the dog for example. The initial images of Sparky came out on Tumblr in 2014. This was during the very early days of the game's release, meaning many fans did not yet understand the number of secrets hidden in the first game. Today, we all know how limited the Easter eggs were in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Aside from a few honorable mentions, such as Golden Freddy. Anyway, when the images of Sparky first surfaced online, claiming the existence of a sixth animatronic character, everyone went crazy. On first glance, the image is extremely believable, despite Sparky never actually coming to kill you. He was simply a reference that you could briefly see in Cam 5. After brightening the image a little, you can see how he was photoshopped. You can see how the creator used Freddy's body and Foxy's exposed foot and hand to design Sparky. You may also notice how Sparky is missing an arm, seemingly explaining his absence from the game. Maybe he was in such a state of disrepair that the mechanics tossed him to the back room to never be seen again. Similar to Foxy in Pirate's Cove. Scott Cawthon would later write an entry to Fazbear Frights, featuring a dog animatronic that was named Fetch. Despite the obvious similarities, many fans saw Fetch as a reference to the long-forgotten Sparky. This wasn't even the end of the references. When the first movie released in 2023, there is a brief moment in the parts and service where you can clearly spot a worn-down Sparky animatronic, the official canon render. There were more references sprinkled in the movie, like the diner being named Sparky's Diner. He got his own restaurant in the movie universe. Sparky is absolutely one of the better known hoaxes thanks to his appearance in the movie. However, that does not mean there aren't plenty more to discuss. Toy Golden Freddy could be found when playing Custom Night. You had to set certain characters' difficulties to match the numbers of 1987. He would approach your office the same way as Toy Freddy, while also taking on his jump scare animation. Weird that he's a carbon copy of Toy Freddy. Oh right, it's just a mod. Turns out Golden Toy Freddy does not exist in the base Five Nights at Freddy's 2 game. He only exists in a mod that you can download on the computer. He's a simple recolor of the base Toy Freddy model. He features golden yellow fur and the iconic empty eye sockets. Golden Toy Freddy was just a mod that people online passed off as a real Easter egg. Now I've got another honorable mention from the second game. Known as the Purple Guy animatronic, was a really poorly designed robot version of William Afton. So little was known about his character that people referred to him as the Purple Guy because of his purple sprite. So, Roxo1987 took the purple sprite and made it into an animatronic. It sits in the same slouched position that Golden Freddy sits in. He also causes the player's game to crash in an instant. I believe this one given I was a very young child that did not understand Photoshop. However, today I can very clearly tell on first glance how bad this was. Now looking ahead to the next game, we have Five Nights at Freddy's 3. The most memorable hoax of this game was easily the Phantom Bonnie animatronic. Phantom Bonnie came up after his exclusion in the Phantom lineup, obviously thanks to Springtrap. Phantom Bonnie really took off in the community after Epic Surfing Vids uploaded the infamous Phantom Bonnie jumpscare video. The video demonstrates how the player can activate Phantom Bonnie, getting jumpscared and given a ventilation error. There were multiple versions of Phantom Bonnie floating around online, featuring an unwithered version, a withered version, a classic version, and rarely a toy version. All of these contradicting images made it very clear to players that it was all a hoax. Despite the evidence against it, the unwithered version had a large community of fans. It became incredibly iconic and eventually died out after the release of the Phantom Bonnie theory video, which ultimately disproved the urban legend. Despite the time, Phantom Bonnie remains a pillar of the best Five Nights at Freddy's hoaxes. Finally, I'm concluding with the unwithered animatronics. These models came up around the release of the third game, when most believed that the withereds were previously fixed, and ultimately decayed after being retired. The retrofit theory stated that the withereds were deemed so ugly by Fazbear Entertainment that they were retrofitted with new technology, which caused the drastic visual differences in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This theory ultimately disproved the unwithereds. However, the second movie depicts the withereds as a different set of animatronics from the classics. This would technically mean the unwithereds did exist. I'm really not sure which side is actually canon, but I believe the retrofit theory is most likely. Scott has made it clear that the movies are a separate canon to the game timeline, meaning certain aspects will differ, like in this case, the unwithered's existence. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want me to follow up this video with a second part, let me know in the comments below.